Welcome to Fintech Uncut, the quiz show with candid commentary on the biggest fintech and financial services news of the week that was. Disclaimer: this show is created purely for entertainment purposes and contains segments of sarcasm, satire, parody, and humor. Even if you don't think any of it is funny, the creators do not accept any responsibility or liability for the accuracy of any content shared and reminded you to always fact-check everything yourself. And now, it's over to your quiz master.
Welcome everyone at our second episode of Fintech Uncut, the Fintech quiz with candid commentary on the week's biggest Fintech and financial services stories with the wise guy, the other guy, and Judge Mary. The show is built around 6 questions, dealing around 3 rounds: the biggest news, the most controversial news, and of course, the one and only WTF round. I will immediately kick off with the first question for the wise guy and the other guy, and that is, JP Morgan is a very influential voice in financial markets. Which prediction did they make this week? The floor is yours.
Is this the news that Jamie Dimon is stepping down as chairman and chief executive and Elon Musk is taking over because Elon Musk wants to make Twitter a bank? And so it's obvious that to be successful, why not take over the most successful bank in the world?
Andrew, what are your what did you pick?
I think that their prediction was that there's going to be a massive run on cash because people will realize it's actually cheaper to burn physical notes to heat their houses than pay energy bills this winter.
I'll give you another chance, Chris.
Well, maybe Jamie Dimon stepping down is a good idea because then he can run for president of America because we need another billionaire to run a country.
Oh, you mean they're taking a lead from the UK and just swapping presidents every couple of months?
Donald Trump, Jamie Dimon, Rishi Sunak, we need billionaires to run the economies.
I think that their prediction was that the public are never ever going to adopt CBDCs after Russell Brand's rant about CBDCs. His video got over 1 million views within the first couple of hours.
Russell Brand, there's a guy with the face, right?
All right. Real answers now. Real answers now, gentlemen.
The real answer is, that we've seen the cryptocurrency market hit the wall this week, and it was the collapse of FTX, which maybe was partly involved with Binance.
No manipulation there of the market at all.
No. It's not
completely ethical integer.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Dimon calls it a Ponzi scheme when we talk about cryptocurrencies, but they predicted that Bitcoin would fall through the floor. I mean, Rick, I think you have the full story there, but from my side, it's just like we're seeing a collapse of crypto.
No, exactly. And then the news was, of course, on the tensions between Binance and FTX. But the question was actually around how far does JP Morgan predict Bitcoin will go down? As such, perhaps not a big news as this is shared every single day. But this time they bet that would go down up to $13,000, which is a value lower than the actual production cost of Bitcoin, which makes me think, what does that mean for the future of Bitcoin?
Interestingly, there was an article that said something about Bitcoin is 52 times cheaper than the financial services in terms of energy consumption. And I questioned that article because it implied that Bitcoin is equivalent to the whole of financial services. That's a bit of a crazy article, but
did Russell Brand write that?
Yeah, you would have thought so because it's not very. Yeah,
but I think the bottom line here is Bitcoin is not going away. I mean, people have called it dead, hundreds of times, and it rises every single time eventually. And the reason is because people want a currency that's governed by the people on the network rather than by governments through state control.
All right. Mary,
Yes. All right. Rick, I'm tempted to give you points for the reenactment action, but I'll refrain. Chris, you weighed in faster, so you get a little bit of an advantage here with your answer. You get 6 points. Andrew, you get 4.
All righty.
I'm gonna keep saying I need a 10, Mary. That's gonna be my new strap line. I need a 10, Mary.
We'll find out. I still have the swatter.
Let's spice the show again with some more Russell Brand energy with our next question. Last week, we briefly discussed Musk's plans to build a super app. What did he announce this week as part of that plan?
I definitely, we all know Musk is bonkers and brilliant, right? And the big proposition is Airbnb for this or Uber for that. So obviously, being Musk, he's decided to say, tweet for a toot and build the Uber for weed, the first global weed super app. Yeah, am I right?
It sounds like it, although Chris, I'm just wondering, do we have a contract that says we have to mention Elon Musk every week? It's like he seems to be on everywhere all the time. And
trying to get him as a sponsor, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, did he announce that he's going to be the new CEO of JP Morgan Chase?
I think that it's because he's modeling Twitter on his idol. He's going for the Make Twitter Great Again campaign, right?
I actually think he probably announced that Andrew Forster will be the new sort of CIO of Twitter because he likes to have a lackey.
Well, it's a fellow Sapphire. Come on, it's us Sapphires have got to stick together here.
Exactly. Did you grow up together? Were you at school? Oh no, you weren't at school together, obviously.
I'm a little bit older.
With that savage attack, real answers, dudes.
Well, he obviously, Chris alluded to it in the first thing. Musk wants to make Twitter a payments. He wants to get into payments, and he wants people to be able to use Twitter to send money to each other. That was my impression. The big news of the week is Musk is making a big move into payments. They've even filed, I think, some kind of IP filing over making payments on Twitter. Rick?
No, you're right. That's what it was all about. That on top of offering a high yield money account to make sure that people would be encouraged to move their cash to Twitter, making it somehow a proper bank almost. A very limited set of services, of course, but Chris, what's your take on this?
Well, it's talking about making its payments and a high yield account, as you said, Rick, which is like it effectively becomes a bank.
Yeah,
I think what's disturbing is after all of the pump and dump twittering around Dogecoin or Dogecoin, as I sometimes call it, will he include crypto in the Twitter space? And the ups and downs of the crypto market is driven a lot by Elon Musk. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
And we've seen the kind of bait and switch that goes on between Binance and FTX. I'm expecting him to pump his Dogecoin on Twitter just to be able to get something rallying in that area.
I'm reading the room, Rick, with your signals. All right, I'm feeling like equal energy here. 5s for both of you.
Alrighty.
We got a team together there, Chris.
Are you guys ready for the controversial round?
We all are.
Question number 1. Santander made a controversial decision against cryptocurrency fraud. What was that decision?
Is it that they said they'd heard of cryptocurrency?
And they decided to buy it all.
You've got it wrong. They said that there's no such thing as cryptocurrency fraud because crypto isn't a currency.
Well, no, I actually think that they want to battle against the new CEO of JP Morgan, Elon Musk, and the fact that he's using kryptonite to drive cryptocurrency.
You won't believe it. I visited my 90-year-old mum-in-law last night, and she was desperate to tell me that she had just been seeing something about Krypton on TV, and did I know about the big news? And I went, "Do you mean crypto, Mum?" And she said, yes, that's the thing. So yeah, kryptonite, it's going to be the killer of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Santander wanted, partner with Elon Musk to offer dodgy coins.
I think that I thought that maybe they'd promoted Anton Deck to be the from marketing to the head of their fraud department, because obviously celebrities these days know all about crypto, so that would be a good move.
Judge
Yeah, we
Mary,
can start a whole new series called "I'm a Celebrity, Give Me a Coin."
Judge Mary, shall we set a new rule that from now on we can no longer mention Musk in this show?
Oh, that's going to be hard.
I like that rule. And then we boo. We boo if we hear it.
It smells good to me.
create shame. Yeah, I'm with you. And with that, let's get down to business. What's the real news here?
Well, we're in the UK, well, some of us, and Santander said that they won't allow anyone to use cryptocurrency exchanges for sending money out above about $1,000, and it's very restrictive. I'm not sure why they've done that, but there's still this worry, particularly after FTX and Celsius, which both collapsed in the crypto world, that people can lose a lot of money. So I guess that's a motivation. Rick, do you have the full detail?
I didn't get much more insights, but that's probably indeed, the reason. If a bank is very often still the first point of contact for customers in case something goes wrong with money. And if those people have sent their money to a crypto platform and they can't get their money back, and that crypto platform doesn't answer their calls, guess who's the first point of contact to get in touch with?
But it does call into question of where does a bank's responsibility lie? Are they responsible if you send all your life savings to a Nigerian prince? Are they responsible if you buy something dodgy on eBay? Where do they draw the line?
But that's also why I think this rule comes from the bank. It's about perceived responsibility, not exact responsibility. Next question may be linked more to, but in this case, I think it's more about perceived responsibility. And who knows, perhaps the fact that I have too much back office work for dealing with those complaints they have nothing to do with.
Well, points go to Chris for his joke, getting an 8, not a 10, but we're rising up there. And Andrew, I'm giving you a 6, especially for that last point. Yeah.
Alrighty, next question. Buy now, pay later providers may be in big trouble. What was going on this week?
They were struggling to keep up with the transaction volumes as the use on Deliveroo increased with buying McDonald's burgers on buy now, pay later.
No, I think it's more like the fact that they don't make any money. So you've got to be in business to make some money, and BNPL, it's a fine line.
I did see a great acronym explanation that BNPL stands for buy now, prison later. In other words, debtor's prison, because people are getting themselves into so much trouble through BNPL. To me, it's
actually, you are getting close. You are getting close.
Oh, I'm getting close.
Give Chris another chance.
Well, I get confused because is it BNPL or BNP Paribas? It's like, it's so similar. But basically, it's buy now, pay forever. And if they're in that model of buy now, pay forever, then as Andrew says, they're walking a fine line between actually being honest brokers versus stiffing the customer. And that's the concern that regulators have. So I did see that there may be a walk towards prison for some of the BNPL organizations if they're stiffing the customer too much.
Yep.
Is that right, Rick?
Yeah, that is right. It's a decision from the Financial Conduct Authority to be a bit more explicit on their communication, warning buy now, pay later bosses that they could face jail if they do not stick to stringent financial promotion rules in the market. Absolutely. These people very often, they found a new fintech solution to put in the market, are very strong in marketing and find the technicians to build it, and then often forget what compliance has to do with financial services.
I'm giving 7s to both of you.
Ooh, running neck and neck this week, Chris. You're going to have to try and pull one out.
Right.
This
No
is
more
finished.
questions.
Just before we move on, is BNPL big in America, Mary?
Oh, it's so big. Like people are using it to pay for like their gas, groceries. There's a version of it for rent. It's like it's popping over here, but I feel like maybe you're having some more safeguards. Maybe.
By the way, for our audience, Mary's from the United States.
I don't know if you noticed.
Just in
How did
case
you know that? Because the big concern over here is that if people are paying using BNPL to eat, then it's really disturbing.
Oh, it's
I'm
really
worried
disturbing.
what Mary's just said about using it for gas. I mean, that's just, it's
Yeah.
nuts. It's the worst possible thing that's come out of fintech in a very long time.
Alrighty. Next round, my friends. The what the fuck round. And I'll only explicitly say it once. That's why we officially call it WTF.
I thought it was what the fintech.
I thought it was what's the future?
I'm glad
Can
we're
I
in
please
season.
set some more new questions in that case? Because this first question is quite WTF and not referring to what the fintech in a way. There's a new trend in the Luxembourg financial world, my friends. What would that be?
Is it that people like Luxembourg?
Wow.
Burn! No,
Life fodder,
Don't
life
ask Chris for
fodder.
my conferences in Luxembourg.
Chris, I can tell you that the big trend has got to be, for it to make the news, it's got to be that the bankers must be removing their ties and relaxing their dress code, because the last conference that I went to, I felt severely underdressed. I was in a full suit, but I hadn't put a tie on, and I was just getting side glances all the time with people going, did he not get the dress code? So that's got to be the biggest news coming out of Luxembourg.
Well, talking of dress code, I'm seeing Mary in Vegas next week. Hey, and I'm going to be wearing a gold tracksuit, just to warn you.
Thank goodness. I'll coordinate.
Yeah, I'm just going back to the question, though. I mean, what is the best European state to avoid tax?
That's,
One off, but that's not a trend.
I was going to say, that's a trend. It's always been.
That's
though.
history.
I mean, yeah. If we're talking about trends, I mean, it should be a follow-up on last week's controversial topic of banks becoming Pizza Huts and Domino's and all that. I think Luxembourg are a lot more posher, so they're climbing onto this trend, but their banks are becoming fine dining Michelin-starred restaurants, because that's the kind of level that Luxembourg's at. Yeah.
Mary, I have the impression that these guys are not even getting close.
You might have to actually give them the whole answer.
Well,
But
the
let's
trend,
find out.
in fact, solves part of your problem, Andrew, if you join them, because it has to do with no clothes.
Oh,
The Wim Hof method of cold therapy. I don't know if you know it. It's about breathing and meditation, and began with improving the performance of elite athletes, but has been adopted by financial institutions in Luxembourg for more psychological stability and clear-mindedness that regular cold therapy can bring to their leadership teams. So increasingly more bankers are going in the forest for cold bathing.
So it's basically throw bankers into a cold bucket.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I could get behind that. Yeah, dumping the bankers in a bucket of water. Yeah, but oh, come on. I mean, that really, seriously? Is Wim Hof a big thing over there? Where's he from, this guy?
The Netherlands, I believe.
Netherlands. Okay.
Yeah, he's created this whole thing, and it was recently a series on TV where celebrities had to dive under ice water and freeze, and it's a great idea.
It seems
it's to overcome your fears.
It seems to be
Seriously?
also scientifically proven that it boosts immunity, reduces inflammation, heightens focus, and sharpens creativity. So, in a way, the perfect recipe for the financial industry.
The bankers could do with a bit more creativity, so maybe I could get on board with that, but I'm not volunteering to go on one.
No, but
I'm on board for this. I'm on board for this too. Write the feature about a bunch of bankers doing this, because I can't imagine a more awkward thing, but maybe it
Make them feel
I
day to
recommend
day
immediately
that
after this one that Andrew goes and jumps in the lake. That's a good idea.
Yes.
all right. Chris, I mean, I'm drawn to the fashion. So now that I expect you in like a gold jumpsuit, basically tracksuit, jumpsuit, whatever, you get 8 points. Andrew, you get 4 this round.
I thought it was very interesting that Chris also knew the Wim Hof method.
Yeah. I watched the TV show.
But if I were a judge, you would have gotten 9. But okay, I'm not a judge.
Rick!
I think
against
maybe
each other
next week
now.
Mary should ask the questions and you be the judge.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe
We'll switch it around.
switch roles, yeah, next time.
Last question, my friends.
Oh, and Chris is in the lead, so.
Ooh.
And I think the last question is also in favor of Chris. In the middle of crypto winter, conferences seem to have difficulties attracting audiences. Why should you attend the International Symposium on Blockchain Advancements on December 2nd in Singapore?
Chris beat me there.
I got there first. Is it because it's in Luxembourg?
I thought it's got to be in Vegas, but Rick just said it's in Singapore, because I thought the only way you ever get an audience to any event these days is put it in Vegas. I mean, Chris and Mary are both in Vegas next week. That's the only way that people got them there, was to have the thing in Vegas. So I thought it would be in Vegas. So if it's not in Vegas, then I think that it's got to be that Meta Mark Zuckerberg must be convening this whole thing in the metaverse to discuss Web 4.0, surely.
And just to make you jealous, I have got my Adele ticket. I just hope she turns up, but that's another story. And back to the question, I mean, is it because there's actually been an advance in blockchain? You know, I keep saying, blockchain is a fantastic solution for a problem that hasn't been, resolved, because the problem is standardization, industry agreements. So what advances have there been in blockchain?
Wow,
And
that sounds like a good song to start writing. Give me some real answers, gentlemen.
Well, it's got to do with celebrity speakers. We all know, people go to conferences because Chris speaks there. They never go to conferences because I speak there. But, it's all about the celebrity speakers. So this is truly a WTF question, because, Rick, do you want to share who the celebrity speaker is?
Of course. And I don't know, maybe it's a reason why not to attend this symposium.
Definitely.
Because the person they hired, he recently lost his job, which clearly shows that he's out of the spotlights, in my opinion. But that would be Boris Johnson. Your friend, Boris Johnson, Andrew.
I mean, what the absolute does Boris Johnson know about blockchain? And they've paid him some enormous 6-figure sum to go and headline there. I mean, what? And people,
did you buy your ticket?
They want to take this seriously? Really?
Well, I can imagine his opening line would be something like, I'm a huge fan of blockchain because, we can put injury and the blockheads on the blockchain and make everybody in Britain a blockhead. Whatever. I mean, he knows nothing about this stuff. I don't know why they've got him there, but it's, obviously for some reason trying to make a headline. Having said that,
Wasn't
Boris
blockchain the reason for Brexit?
Well,
If they put Brexit on the blockchain, maybe it would have actually worked.
Slam dunk on that face, Rick.
On a serious note, I mean, Boris did champion London as a fintech center of the world, so he probably does know quite a bit about blockchain companies. But I wouldn't have ever expected him to be the keynote at a conference on blockchain, to be honest.
Is anyone going?
No,
Damn.
Not even in the metaverse.
I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to stay there. I think I might move there actually because I've got a residency in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah. Obviously not a comedy residency.
Oh, thanks.
All right,
Bada
Andrew,
bing, bada boom.
you win this round for that. You get 6 points, Chris gets 5, which still makes Chris the winner.
Chris, what shirt do you have today?
Oh, it's my dragon.
Oh,
I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it in honor of the judge.
Thank
Thin
you.
Dragon.
Pandering works.
All right, Chris, congratulations.
That makes a change, sort of. So it's now 1-1. We'll have to see how it goes over the weeks.
I'm very
But,
curious to
not that I'm
see
keeping-
how
not
Andrew's
that I'm
going to
keeping
make up for
records.
that.
Not that I'm keeping records, but I'm actually recording this onto the blockchain.
Maybe you can even share it at the conference in Singapore. Let Boris know about it.
Exactly. Wiffle waffle.
All right. Thank you both for your insights and for your valuable and pretty unvaluable insights, by the way, on these questions. And Mary for being our judge. And thank you also to our audience.
Do we have one?
Audience.
Tap, 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 tap.
I cannot wait for more international fintech news coming up soon. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever channel you're on. This was the second episode of Fintech Uncut.